How you guys doing today? Welcome to the channel. So today in this video, we're gonna be fixing this Duratrax. This is the Overdrive ST, and this is the original engine. Now, in this video, we're gonna be putting one of these engines into this Overdrive ST and getting it running, of course. But I'm not sure if we're gonna take it out to drive yet because we got bad weather outside. We got a lot of snow coming today and everything. So anyways, what's wrong with this engine is I believe the carburetor is bad, because no matter what setting I use on this carburetor, it runs rich, then it runs lean. So it could be just down on pinch, or I think the carburetor is just bad because the pinch actually feels okay on this. So anyways, we know that this engine here, this has the internals from the Torque 16 inside of it. And we know this runs fine because we had this in the Tamiya over there at one point. So I was thinking of swapping this into this. But I'm going to take these engines apart real quick, at least this one and that one, and see if the sleeve is the same size. I'm interested to see if the outside diameter of the sleeve on the 12 is the same as the 16 and the 17. Because maybe what I'll do is maybe I'll take this 17 sleeve and rod and drop it into here into 0.12. But anyways, I wanted to show you guys that the 0.12 internals are inside the 0.16 right now. And the 0.16 internals are in here. And I want to try to put the 17 internals maybe in something else, because the carburetor I'm going to use is a different style than this. Is this style with the screws that go through the carb. So what I want to do is I need to use this engine case no matter what, because this one has a bad front bearing. And I can't use the carb that I'm going to use on this engine. So we have to use this engine anyway. So I just want to see if all these sleeves are interchangeable. Let's find out. I'm going to get these apart and I'll get you guys right back on. So I just wanted to show you guys, this is the 17, and unfortunately, I don't think these are interchangeable because of the different design of the sleeves. You see how this one sits down inside here, and this one is kind of sits on top, but it looks like the bolt holes are the same width apart. You know what I'm gonna do? I'm gonna pull these sleeves out of here anyway and show you. We're gonna find out if they're exchangeable anyways, because you never know. But this is the 16, and obviously that's not a 16 sleeve, and you can see this sleeve has no movement at all. So we're gonna pop these sleeves out, see if they switch around. If these switch around, I might try to put the 17 internals in here. We'll see what happens. Let's see what happens. Give me a minute. So here we go, guys. I got this. This is the 0.16 that I had the 0.12 piston and sleeve in. And I can't get this sleeve out, so I'm not going to try to force it out. I don't want to destroy this, but these are definitely two different size sleeves. Unlike that, this is obviously way smaller than this. Is a 0.17. So this is a 0.12 that came out of that. And check this out. This is the 16 block. You want to see a good fit? Look at that. It fits right in there perfectly. That's how this sleeve swapped over to there. You see how small that is compared to the 17? So unfortunately, I thought I was going to use this pull start onto this engine, but the back plate spacing is much different. So I'm going to try to swap this back plate onto this engine. Let's see how this goes. Give me a minute. Just wanted to show this to you guys. The 0.12 and the 0.16 have exactly the same rod at the bottom. Those rods are exactly the same. This is the 0.16 rod inside of here. That's the 0.16 piston and rod. You see how much bigger that piston is than that? and this is the .12 block. So I'm just trying to see about these back plates real quick. Get you back on. So here's what I came up with, guys. We got the Velocity 17 back plate with the original HPI shaft, because this one is different. But the problem is, when I use this, the whole engine starts to bind up, so that's not gonna work. So we end up with this one, which is a little bit on the short side, but it still grabs the one way, and it doesn't bind up the whole engine. The reason we needed to switch these back plates is this one's much larger and does not line up with this good pull start that I have from the Velocity 17. So we're gonna see if we can cobble this all together real quick. I'll be right back on. All right, guys, I just wanted to show you guys this real quick. So this is the 17. This is the 16 block. And you guys are probably wondering, why didn't I just use the 16 block to go with the 16 piston and sleeve? We'll take a look in there. And then take a look at the crank. So this is the 16 crank and block. But the piston and sleeve from this, we're still good compared to the piston and sleeve from that. So now I just wanted to show you another thing. Can you guess which backplate is from which engine? All right, so this is real clean. So now this has the Velocity 17 backplate, okay? This is the backplate from the 16 from this engine here. So take a guess why I didn't use this block. But I'm using the piston and sleeve from that. So now this is 3 engines. This is a .17 backplate pull starter, .16 piston and sleeve, and a .12 block and crank. And I actually just ran into my first plotting player. I'll show you what I'm talking about. Here's the 17. If you could see, the crank has been shortened. So you have to shorten your crank on this in order to run the clutch system from the 17. But it is a small block. These are both made to do this, but that's the only difference, is I have to shorten this crank a little bit. So I guess that's what I have to do next, is shorten this crankshaft up to the same size this is, because I'm trying to fit the clutch. Realized the problem, and now we gotta sort it out. But you guys can obviously see why I didn't use this block and crank. But I always have an extra crank if I want to fix that, because these are essentially the same. Everything is the same. This has 3 different engines in it. So be back in a minute. Gonna get that shortened up. Going to get this, try to assemble this. Just wanted to show you guys, this is the HPI block with the Torque 16 piston and sleeve in here. I left the I put the .12 back together for now, but this is the 16 block, but that has the .12 sleeve in there. This is the .12 piston that came out of this block. Obviously a lot bigger piston in there now, but this sleeve is exactly the same outside diameter as the .12. So these fit perfect in there. So there you go, guys. Just wanted to show you guys that real quick. .16, this is the .16 head. Obviously that's the .12 head. Check this out. Boop. Ready to go. Ready to go. You guys can obviously tell this came from that dirty engine over there. So anyways, we're gonna get this buttoned up. Then we're gonna have to shorten that crank. And then we should be in business. So do you guys remember when I told you I knew how I knew that these motor mounts were extremely weak? Well, I had this engine. This is the Velocity 17. I had this in the my bench vise, and when I had it in the bench vise, the motor mount snapped right off when I was trying to start this up. So essentially, this block has no pinch left. If you're wondering why I'm not trying to use this, look, it's nothing. We got nothing, so that's why I was overheating and stuff. But you want to know something funny? I got 2 of these Duratracks and I got a spare motor mount right there. Anyways, be back on soon. I'm gonna swap these motor mounts over right now. Then we'll move on to something else.